They became so great that they ended up killing each other and destroying their own civilizations. Before they could disappear completely, they scattered their technological relics all over the world. Then, they left a message on a plate telling future generations to protect the world from misusing their technology and not to make the same mistakes they made. However, all international governments ignored this message and they started hunting the ancient relics. Only one organization, called Arkham, took the message of the ancient civilizations seriously. Arkham has dedicated itself to stopping these international governments from misusing these ancient technologies. You Omine is your normal 17-year-old high schooler. But if there is one rule in anime, it's that there is no such thing as a normal high schooler. On normal days, Omine is a lazy slacker, but on other days, Omine is a Spriggan, elite soldiers of Arkham. Their training and equipment are so high class, they're basically one-man armies. But his Spriggan identity is hidden from everyone in school. When one girl tries to beat him up for being lazy, Omine casually dodges her attacks and goes on another mission for Arkham. Omine is informed that they have found the mythical Noah's Ark inside a mountain in Turkey. They found another plate there with a message that says that Noah can bless humanity or destroy humanity. So, Noah's Ark is a dangerous relic. On top of that, the scientists have been attacked by some strange entity. It is Omine's job to protect the scientists while preventing Noah's Ark from getting into the wrong hands. Meanwhile, the United States military is worried because Arkham will prevent them from taking possession of Noah's Ark. So they send one of their own special soldiers, a child named Colonel McDougal. When Omine reaches the site in Turkey, the scientist gives him a special knife made out of orichalcum. Omine's combat suit is also made out of orichalcum. It is nearly indestructible and also gives him superhuman strength and agility. Just then, they get reports of some armed intruders coming towards their facility. The intruder is a huge soldier named Fat Man, part of the United States Army. He immediately goes through the Arkham soldiers as Madara did with the Shinobi Alliance. Pure domination. There's also another soldier called Little Boy who uses sharp wires to chop his opponents into pieces. Omine arrives and he is absolutely furious at the two soldiers for killing his comrades. They get into a 2v1 fight all over the facility. Omine does well against these two powerful opponents, but it turns out they are also wearing orichalcum armors just like him. Fat Man manages to pin him and he starts choking him. But just then, someone stops him. The one to the rescue is... Wait, that hair and that rifle. Is that you, Ryza Hawkeye? Huh? It's not Ryza, but I could have sworn. Turns out it's another Spriggan named Jean Jacquemond and a close friend of Omine's. Jean has superhuman agility and speed, and he uses it to fight Little Boy. No matter where Little Boy runs to, Jean catches up to him easily. When Jean finds out that they are also wearing orichalcum armors, he takes Little Boy by the face and runs him through the wall. Meanwhile, Omine, who is fighting Fat Man, gains the upper hand with his new orichalcum knife. He angrily takes revenge for the death of his friends. But Omine does not kill Fat Man, saying that Spriggans are not cold-blooded murderers. So, Jean blows up his head, much to Omine's anger. Once they calm down, they go with the scientists to Noah's Ark. The head scientist says that they haven't been able to enter the Ark because it is also made from the same indestructible material as the message plates. They need some sort of key. Just then, McDougal approaches their facility. Hearing the loud noise, Little Boy starts laughing at the Arkham soldiers, saying that they will all die. Outside, the soldiers shoot at McDougal, but it's no use. They try to close the heavy gates, but he opens them with his psychokinetic powers. US soldiers enter and capture the Arkham soldiers. When Omine approaches him, McDougal uses his powers to hit him so hard that he almost dies on the spot. So, the head scientist agrees to cooperate in exchange for the safety of his Arkham staff. McDougal takes him into the mountain towards Noah's Ark. Meanwhile, Little Boy is just about to kill Omine, but Jean comes in with a dynamic entrance. He makes quick work of all the soldiers with his speed and skill, but Little Boy distracts him, and some US soldiers shoot him from behind. Jean falls to the ground, and Little Boy starts celebrating. But Jean wakes up again and takes a terrifying, monstrous form. He immediately kills Little Boy, and then he massacres all the US soldiers one by one. Omine reveals that Jean is a lycanthrope who gains this terrible power when he sees his own blood. Back inside the mountain, McDougal takes the message plate and uses his psychokinetic powers to open the Ark. They enter inside and find a huge box. McDougal reveals that the US found another plate with instructions on how to control Noah's Ark. He uses the information to activate the box. The box is actually a device which allows its user to control the intensity of solar energy that enters Earth, basically making him a sun god. McDougal wants to use the Ark's power to reset humanity. For that, he asks the head scientist to advise him, but the scientist declines. Angry with the rejection, McDougal attacks his assistant. He also prepares to attack the scientist, but Omine and Jean stop him. So, McDougal activates the power of Noah's Ark. He increases the temperature of the solar radiation entering Earth with the intention of causing a huge flood. Since the assistant is injured, Jean takes her and the scientist to safety while Omine tries to fight McDougal. But McDougal calls himself God as he dominates Omine with his psychokinetic powers. However, using his powers too much causes him to break down physically. Omine uses this opportunity to finally defeat McDougal. When Omine tries to take McDougal, he pushes him away and then activates Noah's self-destruct function. McDougal says he deserves to die alongside Noah as he stops Omine from approaching him. Noah's Ark starts to get destroyed for the last time ever. Jean saves Omine and takes him to the rest of Arkham members. They all celebrate while Omine looks back at the Ark with a smile. Sometime later, Ri Yamabishi, a linguistic professor, comes from the US to meet with Arkham. However, Professor Ri gets abducted at the airport. Thankfully, Omine comes and beats up the two abductors. For him, it's like taking candy from two kids. When Omine and Professor Ri leave, a mysterious man comes out of the shadows. We can tell that this is one of the bad guys because, well, just look at that fashion sense. Oh, and also maybe because he just massacred the two men. On top of her work with Arkham, Ri is also looking for Omine. Omine is a childhood friend of hers and she only has pictures of him. But she does not recognize Omine as the same man who saved her earlier. An Arkham officer, Yamamoto, tells Ri about a strange site near Mount Fuji which could be the location of an ancient dynasty. They have found some text written in God characters, and it is Ri's job to translate them. That night, as Ri is going back to her hotel room, a US soldier comes and kills her bodyguards. Ri runs away, and the soldier follows her, slow and steady, Terminator style. She reaches the lobby, but there are more such soldiers there. They capture her, but Omine jumps through the glass and beats up the soldiers. More soldiers come to take him out, but Omine is too strong for them. In an epic battle, he defeats all the US soldiers. Then, the mysterious man from earlier comes and introduces himself as Koichi, working with the Russian government. Koichi uses a strange wind force to attack Omine, but he blows through it. After exchanging a few blows, Koichi retreats. Since the US and the Russians are now involved, things are getting risky for Arkham, but they still have their duties. The next day, Omine and Ri fly towards the ancient ruins. However, their helicopter is attacked by the Russians. Thankfully, Omine saves Ri. Ri is confused as to why the US and Russia are hunting her. So, Omine shows her the ancient tablet and tells her about the message that the ancient civilizations left and the duty of Arkham to protect these ancient artifacts from the corruption of humanity. Then, Omine puts Ri in a safe place and goes to fight the soldiers looking for them. With his skills and tactics, he beats all the soldiers. But then, a special soldier proves himself to be a match for him. Even bullets won't work on him as he uses a special fluid to heal himself quickly. They continue fighting as other Russian soldiers capture Ri. But just then, Koichi comes and kills them. As Omine defeats the special soldier, Koichi takes an unconscious Ri to the ancient ruins. Using a torch, he activates the shrine. Then, he commands Ri to read the scripts and summon the flame serpent so he can control it. But Ri refuses to do that. So, Koichi reveals two things. First, her childhood friend Omine is actually the man who has been protecting Ri all this time. Second, if the flame serpent is not controlled, it will come out and destroy everything in the world, including herself and her childhood friend. So, Ri reads the scripts and releases the flame serpent. It is huge and completely envelops Mount Fuji. Omine comes in to save Ri, but Koichi attacks him with the power of the flame serpent, which he controls using an ancient sword. This sword is strong enough to break Omine's special combat suit. He is just about to kill him, but the captain from earlier comes to try and stop him. Koichi overpowers him, but this gives Omine enough time to bring out the ancient text that he uses to block Koichi's sword. Since the metal is made from ancient technology, it breaks Koichi's sword. Then, Omine punches Koichi into the next manga panel. After that, he takes the sword handle and stops the flame serpent. After they are safe, Ri reveals that she knows Omine's identity. Sometime later, Ri leaves a thank you letter to Omine and returns to the US to continue her university work. Omine sadly thinks back to the past. Both he and Ri were orphans, and they had no one else but each other. Far away in East Asia, some Arkham soldiers can be seen walking through a mysterious forest. However, strange things happen as one soldier sprouts branches from his body and starts attacking his own comrades. All of this is caused by a creepy demon in mist form. Somewhere else, Omine is on another one of his missions for Arkham. He is about to retrieve an idol of an ancient queen. But just then, a tomb raider. No, not Lara Croft. This one is called Yoshino. Yoshino comes and takes the queen's idol. Doing so causes the traps to trigger, and the two of them barely survive. Yoshino is not a part of Arkham, but she is friends with Omine. Friends is a loose word. More like acquaintances. Omine tells her of his mission of going into the forest of no return. Yoshino is attracted by the promise of treasures, and she follows him. Omine thinks about the mission briefing with Yamamoto, who told him about the squads that did not return from the forest. They were all sent to find an ancient relic called Soma. Now, Omine has been tasked with finding this Soma. Omine enters the Forest of No Return with Yoshino. They are immediately attacked by some mysterious soldiers. Omine beats them up, but they wake up again like they're zombies of some sort. So, Yoshino riddles them with bullets and explodes a grenade in their faces. Upon further investigation, Omine finds out that they are part of a powerful weapons development organization called Trident. Apparently, Trident is also interested in the ancient relics. Omine suspects that it has something to do with an ancient tale which has some similarities to Ramayana. Apparently, an exiled king cursed the entire forest for not protecting his wife. They come across a Trident soldier who tells them that a monster is coming for them. He also sprouts branches and dies immediately. From his body, the huge mist monster appears. Yoshino's bullets have no effect on it, but Omine's energy beam manages to destroy it. When Yoshino pushes him, Omine reveals that this forest is rumored to have Soma, the elixir of immortality that the gods used to drink. Just then, a captain from the Trident army approaches them, and his name is, wait for it, Akatsuki. Who's next? Naruto? Akatsuki suggests that they should team up, but Omine declines. Just then, a horde of ghouls attacks them. The three work together to take them out one by one. Since the ghouls are all former Arkham and Trident soldiers, Omine gets angry that so many men were sacrificed in the quest for Soma. Yoshino notes how powerful Akatsuki is, and Omine says that it's because he's wearing an orichalcum power suit just like his own. The three continue their journey for many days around the forest, but they accidentally keep circling back to the same locations. One night, they come across a Buddhist monk who apparently meditated to death. So, Yoshino does a special summoning ritual that only she can do because, plot, Yoshino works as a medium and the spirit of the monk talks through her. The monk tells an ancient tale. Apparently, the monk and his peers had the secret of making Soma, the elixir of immortality. So, to hide it, he came here into the forest that was cursed by the king. Many people throughout history came looking for it, but they were always stopped by the forest. Omine says that they do not want Soma, only the way out of this forest. So, the monk agrees to help them. He sends them to a cursed spirit tree. Releasing its spirit will release the curse on the forest, but it's in the heart of the forest where the ghouls are in higher numbers. As they are fighting, Yoshino ditches them and goes to find the formula for Soma. She secretly got the location from the monk, so she finds it and takes it with her. But when she tries to go back, a terrible aura covers her vision. The same thing happens to Omine and Akatsuki as well. The two of them try to power through towards the cursed spirit tree, but it's difficult. So, Akatsuki offers to stay back while Omine goes ahead. Honestly, such a nice guy, letting his enemies go ahead. Amane and Yoshino eventually reach the cursed spirit tree where they find the soul of the king waiting for them. It takes a disgusting and monstrous form and attacks them relentlessly. In the process, Yoshino's bag breaks and the idol from earlier and the Soma formula falls out. Yoshino tries to escape with the formula, but Omine takes it and throws it away. The monsters follow it. Then he sees the actual spirit of the king inside the tree. So he takes the queen's idol and goes through the tree trunks. He puts the queen's idol next to the king, and suddenly, love is in the air. The monsters stop, and the shining light rises to the sky. The forest is no longer cursed now. Yoshino tries to take the Soma formula, but Omine stops her. But it's not over. Akatsuki also wants the formula now. Omine tries to stop him, so Akatsuki points out that Arkham may not always be the good guys. What if, one day, they decide to use their powers to take over the world? Omine declares that, if that happens, he will personally destroy Arkham. Akatsuki is impressed by his integrity and lets him live, for now. Sometime later in Japan, Yoshino continues her life as a normal schoolgirl. Her Tomb Raider identity is a secret, just like Omine's Spriggan identity. Omine tells her that Soma is made from a plant called Ambryosa, but that plant is already extinct. Omine is happy that no one will misuse Soma, but Yoshino is absolutely furious. If this video